In this video, I'm feeling called to talk about why I like posting videos like this. And if you followed my Facebook or YouTube for any length of time, you'll notice why my course seems to keep changing and why I see there's actually an invisible thread that runs through everything that I post or that comes through. And the idea here is I love to just put stuff out there. And more so than feeling the reaction from other people, for me, it's about asking myself, how does it feel once I post something? So I've posted some videos recently about starting this publishing company, and that part feels really good. I love the idea of creating a publishing company, and it just feels right, and I'm going to keep pursuing that. But then as I was sharing it, this idea of publishing other people's books sounded really exciting at first. But then once I slept on it and spoke again and put more energy towards it, it felt really heavy. And it was this idea of I'm already feeling overwhelmed with everything it takes to publish my own books and start a publishing company. And then the idea of like taking on submissions from other people and having to review their work and stuff, that's just like a whole nother thing that doesn't feel aligned in this moment. And it may never feel aligned, or it may feel aligned in the future. But I love having this outlet to just share, because if I thought about that in my head, I would go back and forth on it. That's at least the thing I guess would happen. But when I speak it out into the world, it's like, okay, it landed, and now I can see how I feel about what just landed. So that's one thing that was on my mind I wanted to share. And then another thing was I got a call from someone that works as a consignment manager at a local bookstore, and I left some books with her, and she said, sorry, we can't take your books because there's no spine on them. And this is just more confirmation that I need to self-publish my books through my own publishing company instead of just printing them off Amazon. Because the opportunity here is my books tend to be really short. If you've read any of my books, you know it's around 15,000 words or less. And the thing with short books is I love them personally. I think it's like, give me the best essence of what's trying to be communicated and don't add any fluff. And that's how I feel when I read my books. They're just like, that's awesome. But the problem is when you print these books on Amazon, it's not possible to get them to be small enough where I can add in text on the spine of the book. And what I've realized after talking to different bookstores and different consignment managers is that most bookstores will not sell your book unless it has text on the spine. And this is something I never gave much thought to until I've talked to these people and heard feedback from them. But it makes so much sense. When I go to a bookstore, only the best-selling books are the ones that you see the full cover. Like you'll see the front-facing cover. It's a lot of sun. You'll see the front-facing cover of the books that are like the really popular ones, and then the other books are going to be stacked next to each other where all you can see is the spine. And so I'm realizing how important having an attractive spine is that includes text that says the name of the book. And if my book were to go into a bookstore as it is now with just like blue with no words, not only does it not look great for the bookstore, but it's very unlikely that someone's going to pick that book. And so it's typical, I've noticed as I've gone through my journey in other pursuits, where these things seem obvious in hindsight, but I never would have known had I not started taking momentum and going forward. So that spine text is the most obvious thing in the world to me now. But if I were to just replay ideas in my head endlessly, I would have focused on many other things, even written more books, before I've decided to focus on creating great spine text for a book. And so I feel somehow that this is similar to why I like talking about my journey in these videos. It's like putting stuff out there is so liberating when there's no need to get it perfect. And one thing that I'm actually really proud of myself for that doesn't look so good on the surface is I've posted a lot of videos and content that gets like very few views or like very few likes. And I didn't know this at the time. Most of the time I was like, oh, disappointed. I wanted more likes or more views. But I realized it was training a muscle to post what my intuition tells me to post without needing the validation of other people to approve that thing before I posted it. And for some reason, this feels very important. Like, it's the idea of being able to post these videos, even though I know I'm not talking about a subject that's going to get a lot of views, is important because of how it helps me adjust course on my own journey. And I have the vision and hope that I sell books and attract lots of people to those books, and it really helps a lot of people. But these steps right now, where these videos get very few views, are actually critical, because this idea is a seed right now, and it needs to be shaped by the world. Just like the Tao says, become an ordinary stone shaped by the river. It's like, I don't need to sparkle or shine at the very beginning, or maybe even ever, but the idea is to just let the world work on me, and I'll keep following my intuition the whole time. Yeah, so that's all I had to share right now. And just talking through it on this video really helped me. So if you've made it this far, I appreciate you, and thank you for being here. If you haven't checked out my books yet, you can find them on Amazon, and they're great to read on Kindle. And you can even get them as a paperback, but they'll be pretty big books. So enjoy the books if you feel called to it. There'll be a link somewhere near the video, and there'll also be an option to donate if you feel called to it, and I really would appreciate it. So that's it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.